What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Diablo Research Institution. I am your host, Professor Iceman. Appreciate you guys for coming by. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to the page and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my channel members and patrons. Links in the description below. So here we are in Diablo 2 Resurrected. The best way to play Diablo 2 in 2023. Give me a hell yeah in the comments below if you guys are with me on that. So here I have my Javazon. And I wanted to show you guys this build because this is what I generally like to do on ladder resets. Now, you might have to make a sorceress or whatever and farm some shit if you want to make this a bit more viable, but I think it is doable from the get-go. With the starter javelins, as the old saying goes, you can run through hell with the javelins that you start with a Javazon. Is that how the old saying goes? Something like that. But nonetheless, let me show you the gear. So, Lore Helm. An easy Ort in a Sal rune. For the 1-to-wall skills, the 10 to energy, the lightning res of 30, damage reduced by 7, and perhaps most notably, after the 1-to-wall skills, the +2 mana after each kill. Which I think is very, very key with the Javazon. Especially with the mercenary that I'm going to be showcasing, because the mercenary that I'm using is not using insight. It's using something else that you can get for relatively cheap. So I'll show you that in just a minute. Now, I like Silkweave boots on my Javazon, but the problem is this is an early ladder build, so all I did was I gambled for some boots and I got ones with 33 MF on them. Quite nice, actually. So for early ladder reset, I think that it's relatively acquirable to get an angelic amulet along with 2 angelic rings. So this Amazon has a ton of attack rating. Not that it's needed all that much with Lightning Fury. In fact, it's not needed at all for the lightning splash effect or the lightning bolt of the javelin to hit the enemy for that matter. But it is needed, of course, for the physical javelin to hit the enemy. And it is needed, of course, in turn as well, to leech life and mana. Now, for mana after each kill, obviously that's something different. That's for the enemies that you kill. But for the physical javelin, when it hits an enemy, you need to have leech on there if you want to benefit from the leech. It has to hit the damn enemy to leech, alright? So even if your Lightning Fury goes off, it doesn't mean you're going to leech, because that might not necessarily mean that your javelin itself hit the enemy. But I have a pretty high attack rating, and let me show you what it is right now. Because with Lightning Fury, it actually doesn't showcase it. Okay, the attack rating kind of sucks, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it would have been if I didn't have Lightning Fury, or if I didn't have triple Angelics on. Alright, so my shield of choice is actually a Rhyme shield. So you can just get any bone shield, or large shield, or kite shield, or whatever from the merchants in Act 2, or even from Act 1. You could get a large shield or a small shield. Shale Eth. For the nice 40% block rate. Faster block rate, 20% increased chance of blocking. Regen mana 15%, all res of 25. And cannot be frozen, which is nearly damn essential for Hell mode. Another benefit is you get a nice 25 MF. So I just think this shield is an absolute hog. I usually use this shield until I can make a spirit. And even then, sometimes I still use Rhyme over the Spirit if I don't have a Ravenfrost, for example, for the Cannot Be Frozen mod. And then as for the armor, I'm going to make a Neph Lum Smoke. So I have the very nice 50 to all res, which is primarily why I want this armor. Now, it's not going to bring me over the top with anything, but it's going to get me out of the negatives. So at least there's that. Gloves are just some random junk gloves that I gambled for. These ones actually have a very small mana leech on them, so I will benefit to some extent with that. And I also have Mavina's belt? How do you say? Let me know in the comments below. Mavina's Tenet shark skin belt set. So this is something that you could trade for quite cheap. People usually just keep this shit on the ground for that matter. This has a nice 20% faster run walk and 5 mana stolen per hit. So I'm going to kill some enemies, and then I'll show you the skills that I've used. But I think I could have gotten away with throwing a Razor Tail on this character instead of a Venus, because Razor Tail isn't all that valuable. From the beginning of the ladder, it generally goes for like a pull rune within the first couple days, and then it stays around that. So, I mean, Razor Tail isn't all that valuable, and I think in general, people desire Thunder God's Vigor over Razor Tail. But my opinion is that Razor Tail is the better way to go, especially early on for the Javazan. Because you don't have a ton of plus skill gear. And I think it's extremely important to have a high pierce with your Lightning Fury. Because every time it goes through an enemy and hits another, it'll release all of its bolts all over again. So you start to double, triple, quadruple your damage and beyond. So let's see how well this character fares with just this basic shitty gear. And she, or he rather, is only level 78. Alright, so not very high at all. In total I have 9 life leech, 8% mana leech, and where's my pierce at? Let's see what the pierce is at right now. The pierce is... what the hell? Okay, it's not going to be on the character sheet. So the pierce is... I'm going to have to show the skill, because it doesn't count the skill pierce on your character sheet. My pierce is at 79. Alright, so I'm going to pop one more point, and get it at 82. Alright, so I'm going to... at level 16, you have 82 pierce. And I still have a ton of points left over. So I think I'm going to put the rest into Lightning Strike. And then the few others, I suppose, into Lightning Bolt to get my synergies up there. So Lightning Fury right now is 1 to 1198 damage. And of course, that doesn't seem like much at all. But I think it's going to look a lot better than what it looks like on the character sheet here. And every time it pops or hits an enemy, it releases 26 bolts. So let's see how well this fares in the Frigid Highlands, for example. I'll show you my Mercenaries gear in just a moment. But I'm kind of curious to see how well it does without even him being involved. Oh, shit. That's not as good as I was expecting. Oh my god, it's hideous. What is the player count? Oh! Okay, there's the problem. So even players 8, see what it just did on players 8? That's amazing. Alright, so let me go back and try this one more time. Not on players 8, but on players 1. Because that's what I'm going to be farming early ladder reset. And that's what you're going to be farming too. Whether or not you like it. Because I said so. So anyway, let's go back and let's try the same thing on players 1. And I think you're going to be impressed. So here we are now, players 1 difficulty. But what we just witnessed was pretty damn impressive. Players 8, with this junk gear, I mean everything outside of maybe the Titan's Revenge, but a Titan's Revenge you could get for a pull rune within the first couple days of ladder as well. Not that you're going to find all these pulls, but you're going to find shit that's in that range of where you can trade for a pull, or trade for a Titan's rather. And I think you're going to be all set. So let's see how well it works out in the Frigid Highlands now on players 1 difficulty. Oh my god, it almost seems the same. Okay, it almost seems the same. Now, it's a lot. Lighting has such a range on it, which it has such a variance that you're going to get shit like that. But the Charge Strike, let's take a look at Charge Strike. Here, I'm gonna toss a couple bolts into this horde here. Basically, the more enemies you have on screen, the better, because the more potential there is for your lightning javelin, your Lightning Fury javelin, to go through one enemy to hit another and continue multiplying in the releasing of all of its bolts. All right. So let's try this in the Chaos Sanctuary, although I'm a titbit scared because I'm not sure how well it's going to perform in the Chaos Sanctuary. The Charge Strike now is doing 1 to 2,135 damage, but it releases 8 bolts per strike, And of course, against larger targets, all of those bolts can hit a single target, so they have a shotgun effect to them. So I'm going to teleport to the Chaos Sanctuary. And here's how I'm going to do it. Because this is an early ladder build, I do not have Enigma, and I do not have a nice teleport amulet, no. I do, however, on Switch, have a staff that has teleport charges. And of course, you can buy magic one of these in Act 3 of normal mode. I think you can use it at like level 17, 18, or not 17, but I can't remember when you can use it, but you can buy it around that level. You can buy them from Act 3 from Ormus or some shit, and just keep shopping them, and you'll find one with teleport on it, all right? The charges of teleport. Nagus Puzzler, however, is just a very convenient one because it has a ton of charges. And people find this thing, they'll hold on to it, they'll throw it on the ground. You can just pick that shit up for free, basically. And you got yourself some teleport. So that's how I'm going to get to the Chaos Sanctuary. And on that note, let's see if I can even do that without getting my ass kicked. Because the problem is the Amazon has a horrible cast rate. But that is, however, a little better than what I remember. Nagus Puzzler has 30% FCR on it. So that's another reason to get Nagus Puzzler over just any general magic teleport staff, because Nagus Puzzler has the teleport charges on it. Holy shit! But yeah, I mean, look at how well this functions. Junk gear. Here we go. I'm gonna charge strike a couple of these thickies. Here, let's get out of this fray. Let's get out of the fray. We're gonna go to the center of the Chaos Sanctuary. Now, my mercenary. I'll tell you what he has on him, alright? And I'll show you in just a minute. So he has Telrash's Mask, because it is a cheap way of getting life leech on your mercenary. And in addition to that, the 15 total res. So he has Telrash's Mask, alright? Those things, you find them all over the place. It's another thing people just throw on the ground. So just hang out in games and people throw this shit on the ground, alright? And if they don't do that, you get your money back. Just come hit me up on this video. Let me know in the comments that you joined a couple of games. You hung out for at least 24 hours in a few public games and nobody threw that shit on the ground for you, alright? If that did not happen, come back to this video, like it, and leave a comment that that was not the case. You did not get that shit back. And you will get your money back, alright? So yeah, you pretty much have that guarantee that Professor Ice Deck, a stamp of approval, that you are going to get that shit for free if you have the time, right? And let me show you another item that he's wearing. He's wearing what is generally known as the Reaper's Toad. An item that you could get that for a pull rune as well, all right? If you wait long enough in a public game, you could get it for free. Well, let's look at it. So the Reaper's Toll, this one is non-ethereal, no socket. It's not perfect, 228% enhanced damage. But most notably, it gives a 33% chance to cast level 1 Decrepify on striking. Now, why do you want to cast Decrepify on your enemies when your Javazon that primarily utilizes lightning? Well, it's so your mercenary can kick the shit out of them. Alright? I'm assuming you're going to start without a Sunder Charm. Even though those things fall from the sky, they're pretty much free as well, aren't they? Remember we were all excited how rare they're going to be. People were saying they're going to be worth a job. They're going to be worth like 10 infinities. But no, Sunder Charms are pretty much free. They fall all over the frickin' place. But you just got to get to hell mode to get them. But even with that being said, I'm going to act like you don't have a Sunder Charm. And that's where Reaper's Toll comes into play. But even beyond that, Reaper's Toll helps your mercenary survive like a freaking toad. He's basically never going to die if you got Reaper's Toll on him along with Treachery Armor. Now, this is the most expensive thing that I've showcased on this character, I would say, because you actually have to have a freaking Lem Rune. And we all know that basically cash is king, and cash in Diablo 2 equals runes. So runes are king in Diablo 2, and in this case, you actually need a Lem Rune. So Treachery is going to be a bitch, but you can get a letter rune for both your Nightmare and Hellforge. So if you get lucky, you'll be able to make one of these. And I just bought a plain, or a 3-socketed breastplate from Act 2 normal mode. And that's what you can do to make a Treachery. You make this for the very nice increased attack speed that it offers, the 45% IS, because the more your mercenary attacks, the more he's going to leech. And the more he leeches, the more he's going to be able to survive. And also the Fade proc, because the Fade proc, of course, gets his resist all maxed out and all that. Okay, so there's a bit of a problem here. I think I'm going to have to jab some of these enemies because I'm not able to do very well against them. Just hurling a Lightning Fury Javelin at them and wasting my mana away to where I can't throw anymore. So basically, yeah, I'm going to want to jab the Light Immune, so we'll see how well that works out in just a moment here. All the non-light immunes, obviously, you have your Charge Strike on your left click. And you kill them that way. Ooh. And here's a Gothic Plate. These are something else you want to keep an eye out for. A 4-socketed Gothic Plate to where you can put 4 times perfect topazes in them. Holy shit. Alright, I'm gonna jab these guys. Okay. Okay, a jab works out okay. Oh my god, this build sucks. No, it's not really that bad. I mean, state your opinion in the comments. How viable do you think this build is for early ladder? And what would you do differently about this build? I don't have any points into Valkyrie. The problem is she dies relatively frequently at low levels, and she was basically going to be level 4 if I put 1 point into her. So rather than doing that, I decided, of course, to buff up my Pierce and to help synergize my Lightning Fury. Maybe that was a mistake. Perhaps for research purposes, I should make another video and try Valkyrie with a couple more points in. But, yeah, I'll hold off on that for just a moment. And, of course, the Chaos Sanctuary, I mean, this is pretty much... This is kind of a hard place in D2 Hell. And this generally isn't where you're going to be farming. So, I think I was challenging this character maybe a bit too much, having him do the Chaos Sanctuary. Because what you want to do, of course, with him are the cows. Did I kill Nacho Libre already? Did I kill Nacho Libre? I might have killed... I didn't mean to. I think I might have killed Nacho Libre. Yeah, but when you get a cluster of enemies is where this character really shines. Like right here, for example. Don't die, buddy. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Alright, so I'm going to keep my... Oh my god. Early ladder reset, you gotta keep an eye out for all this shit. Basically a 5, or a 4-socketed polearm of any sort. Oh, it's probably worth checking the war scythes as well. Just 4 sockets, you can make insight or whatever. But okay. So, I'm going to attempt Diablo with shitty resist. Not good. So, not too much of a challenge at all to farm Diablo. Okay. Greater Claws are, of course, important to pick up. You might find that GG Magic Claw. But nonetheless, let's try cow level. And let's do what this character was intended to do. Now, what I really like to farm with the Javazan, starting out early, is the pit. So, I probably fucked up this video because I should have done this. Because this, she would have really shined And I think it would have been more reasonable as to why this is a great early ladder character. But nonetheless, I put her to the challenge. I did the Chaos Sanctuary. So let's forget about the pit for now, and let me try the cow level. We'll see how well she fares there. So fortunately now in Diablo 2 Resurrected, you could make the cow level and kill the Cow King as many times as you want after defeating Hell difficulty, for example, making the Hell cow level. And you don't lose the ability to make the cow level like how it used to be. So yeah, you can farm the Cow King, and he actually drops pretty good items. In this level, you probably don't want your mercenary, because if you don't have your mercenary, you can do a better job at herding up the cows and killing them that way. But yeah, if this character had a razor tail belt, it would be far better. But even without it, and with 0 lightning pierce, I think it does a pretty good job with cows, with the moo-moos. Just hurt him up a little bit. Yeah, with razor tail, if I had 100% pierce, usually I don't settle for anything less. Once I get a razor tail belt in me paws, I will shoot for 100% pierce, no exceptions. I will make all the sacrifices necessary. I will say screw you to my Lightning Fury synergies in order to get my accumulative pierce to 100% or more. Alright? So I'll showcase the reason why maybe in a future video, but just the more pierce, the better. As long as you're 100 or beyond, you're going to be good. So that's what I like to do. But yeah, as you can see here, pretty good for the cow level. I could make my way over to the king and try to kill it. My mercenary just died, which I guess could be a good thing because now you can herd them a bit more effectively. We'll herd a couple cows here. Yeah, not a bad way to farm. So stack up your magic find, get rid of that lower helm, get a 3-socketed perfect topaz helm, get a 4-socketed gothic plate with 4 perfect topazes to get rid of this shit, because you don't need resist too much in the cow level anyway. So if you do that, I think you're going to be good. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on this build in the comments below. Where are you at right now in the ladder for Diablo 2 Resurrected Season 5? The greatest Diablo 2 Resurrected season ever. Season 5. So yeah, let me know where you're at in that, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Peace be with you.